And Yahweh said unto Joshua, See, I have given into thy hand Jericho,
right,
and the king thereof, and the mighty men of valor.
That's right. Go ahead.
And ye shall compass the city.
That's right. So the Most High, He allowed us to shut Jericho down. But no, we ain't allowed nobody to go in or out of that joint. And we circled the city for 7 days. Go ahead.
All ye men of war,
go ahead,
and go round about the city once. Thus shalt thou do 6 days.
That's right. Man, you see how vicious the Most High is? The Most High said, compass they city for 6 days, man. I'm going to shut these peoples down. Put heavy pressure on these peoples, man. Go ahead.
Verse 4, and 7 priests shall bear before the ark 7 trumpets of ram's horns.
They should do what?
And 7 priests shall bear before the ark 7 trumpets of ram's horns.
That's right. And these ain't just holy instruments; they war instruments too. They the call alarm, the sound of alarm for war. Right? Go ahead.
And the 7th day ye shall compass the city 7 times, and the priest shall blow with the trumpet.
Go ahead.
And it shall come to pass that when they make a long blast with the ram's horn, and when ye hear the sound of the trumpet, all the people shall shout with a great shout.
That's right. So we camp out and compass Jericho for 6 days. 7 for real. We circled that joint for the Most High had us carry the tabernacle and the priests and the army. We circled that joint for 6 days and terrorized them people.
And the wall of the city shall fall down flat.
What? The wall of the city shall what?
And the wall of the city shall fall down flat.
Read back up. Why the wall of the city should fall down? What's going to make the wall of the city fall down?
The sound of the trumpet. All the people shall shout with a great shout. And the wall of the city shall fall down flat.
So the sound of the war trumpet is going to make the wall of the city fall. Go ahead.
And the people shall ascend up, every man, straight before him.
Go ahead.
And Joshua the son of Nun called the priests, and said unto them, Take up the ark of the covenant, and let 7 priests bear 7 trumpets of ram's horn before the ark of Yahweh.
That's right. So we compassed the city, and the priest was blowing the shofars as we circled the city for 7 days. Go ahead.
And he said unto the people, Pass on and compass the city.
Go ahead.
And let him that is armed pass on before the ark of Yahweh.
That's right. And the men that had all the weapons, the army, they passed before the ark of the covenant. They protected the ark of the covenant. They protected our laws. Go ahead.
And it came to pass when Joshua had spoken unto the people that the 7 priests bearing the 7 trumpets of ram's horns passed on before Yahweh.
What they bear? What the 7 priests bear?
The 7 trumpets of ram's horns.
Go ahead.
Passed on before Yahweh. And blew with the trumpets.
Go ahead.
And the ark of the covenant of Yahweh followed them.
That's right. Go ahead.
And the armed men went before the priests that blew with the trumpet.
So we was coming behind the army with the trumpets. The priests came behind the army of war. Right? That's something heavy, man. The men of the Lord followed the army. You feel what I'm saying? That's something heavy. They went out to war with the army. Go ahead.
And the rearward came after the ark.
Go ahead.
The priests going on and blowing with the trumpets.
Go ahead.
Alright, we're going to skip down to verse 20.
No, go ahead. Finish that up. I'll just say verse 20.
And Joshua had commanded the people, saying, Ye shall not shout, nor make any noise with your voice.
Right.
Neither shall any word proceed out of your mouth.
Right, go ahead.
Until the day I bid you shout.
That's right. And the Most High instructed Joshua to tell the people to do this on the 7th day. Go ahead.
Then shall ye shout.
Go ahead.
So the ark of Yahweh compassed the city, going about it once. And they came into the camp.
Go ahead.
And lodged in the camp.
So like I said, we camped out in front of that jump and terrorized them peoples. You hear what I'm saying?
You got verse 12?
Yeah.
Verse 12.
Go ahead.
And Joshua rose early in the morning, and the priest took up the ark of Yahweh.
Man, we was meditating on shutting our enemies down. Joshua rose up early in the morning, man, by the Spirit of the Most High. Go ahead.
And 7 priests bearing 7 trumpets of ram's horns before the ark.
Bearing what?
7 priests bearing 7 trumpets of ram's horns before the ark of Yahweh went on continually.
Go ahead.
And blew with the trumpets.
Go ahead.
And the armed men went before them.
That's right.
But the rearward came after the ark of Yahweh. The priests going on and blowing with the trumpets.
That's right. Blowing them ram's horns, which we got right here. Go ahead.
In the second day they compassed the city once and returned into the camp. So they did 6 days. And it came to pass on the 7th day.
Right, so they did that 6 days straight and repeated it religiously. They compassed the Jericho, the city of Jericho, blew the shofars, and had the army with them, terrorizing the city of Jericho, man. And camped out in front of that joint for 6 days. And on the 7th day, what?
And it came to pass on the 7th day that they rose early about the dawning of the day.
So we was meditating on war. We was warriors meditating on war, shutting our enemies down. In the Spirit of the Most High. Go ahead.
And compassed the city after the same manner 7 times.
Right, go ahead.
Only on that day they compassed the city 7 times.
That's right. So the Most High told us to circle the city 7 times on that one particular day. Go ahead.
And it came to pass at the 7th time.
And on that 7th, that last time, go ahead.
When the priest blew with the trumpets.
That's right. Go ahead.
Joshua said unto the people.
That's right.
Shout, for Yahweh hath given you the city.
That's right. Go ahead.
And the city shall be accursed.
Go ahead.
Even it and all that are therein.
That's right.
To Yahweh.
That's right.
Only Rahab the harlot shall live.
That's right.
She and all that are with her in the house.
Because Rahab helped the 2 spies that went in to spy on Jericho. She hid them from the police, right? And then allowed them to escape out her window.
I just wanted to bring this quick example out because I was with the brothers fellowshipping up in Baltimore, and as Jake's sister came up and she asked about the harlot Rahab. She said, "Well, what about the Most High? Doesn't he, you know?" And I was like, "Sister, that doesn't mean that the sister was saved. The Most High he dealt with her righteously, and he spared her because she did a righteous thing for the Israelites.
He showed her some mercy. That's right.
He showed her some mercy.
Yeah. Go ahead.
All right. Only Rahab the harlot shall live.
Right.
She and all that are with her in her house. Because she hid the messengers that we sent.
What she do?
Because she hid the messengers that we sent.
And only the harlot Rahab and the people that was in her house survived that whole situation.
And ye, in any wise, keep yourselves from the accursed thing, lest ye make yourselves accursed.
That's right. Go ahead.
When ye take up the accursed thing, and make the camp of Israel, Yasharal, a curse and trouble it.
Right.
But all the silver and gold, and vessels of brass and iron, are consecrated unto Yahweh. They shall come into the treasury of Yahweh. Verse 20.
Yeah.
So the people shouted when the priest blew with the trumpets. And it came to pass when the people heard the sound of the trumpet.
When the people did what?
When the people heard the sound of the trumpet. And the people shouted with a great shout that the wall fell down flat.
That what?
That the wall fell down flat.
So we overtook the city and killed everybody in the city except the harlot in her house. Give me 1 Ezra 5 and 59. Give me Sirach 50 and 6.
This is the book of 1 Ezra, chapter 5, verse 59. And the priests stood arrayed in their vestments with musical instruments.
What they do?
And the priests stood arrayed in their vestments with musical instruments. And trumpets.
And what?
And trumpets.
Go ahead.
And the Levites, the sons of Ashpha, had cymbals. Singing songs of thanksgiving. And praising Yahweh, according as David the king of Israel had ordained.
That's right. Go ahead.
And they sung with loud voices songs to the praise of Yahweh, because his mercy and glory is forever in all Israel.
Right, go ahead.
And all the people sounded the trumpets and shouted with a loud voice.
And they did what?
And all the people sounded trumpets and shouted with a loud voice, singing songs of thanksgiving unto Yahweh for the rearing up of the house of the Lord. Also of the priests and Levites, and of the chief of their families, the ancients who had seen the former house came to the building of this with weeping and great crying.
That's right. Go ahead.
But many with trumpets and joy shouted.
You think many with what?
But many with trumpets and joy shouted.
Right, so we use these as a time of gladness too, man. To praise the Most High. We use the shofars to praise the Most High too. To party with too. We use them to go to war. We use them to party. And we use them for feast days. Go ahead.
With loud voice. Insomuch that the trumpets might not be heard for the weeping of the people.
Right, so we was praising the Most High so loud, you couldn't even hear the trumpets. Go ahead.
Yet the multitude sounded marvelously, so that it was heard afar off. Wherefore, when the enemies of the tribe of Judah and Benjamin heard it.
Wherefore what?
Wherefore, when the enemies of the tribe of Judah and Benjamin heard it.
So when these enemies heard the sound of our trumpets, they knew what was going on. Go ahead.
They came to know what the noise of trumpets should mean.
What they do?
They came to know what the noise of trumpets should mean.
They knew what time it was when we blew them trumpets. Go ahead.
And they perceived that they were of the captivity, did build the temple unto Yahweh, our power of Israel. So they went to Zerubbabel and Yahushua and to the chief of the families and said unto them, we will build together with you.
Right.
For we likewise, as ye do obey your Lord, and do sacrifice unto him from the days of Azabazareth, the king of the Assyrians, who brought us hither.
Okay, that was it? Alright. Give me that.
Book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 50, verse 6. He was as the morning star in the midst of a cloud, and as the moon at the full, as the sun shining upon the temple of the Most High, and as the rainbow giving light in the bright clouds, and as the flower of roses in the spring of the year, as lilies by the rivers of waters, and as the branches of the frankincense tree in the time of summer, as fire and incense in the censer, and as a vessel of beaten gold, set with all manner of precious stones.
I messed up on that. Give me 1 Maccabees 5:31. I think that was a mistake, brother.
So good. 1 Maccabees 5. 31 and 33. I got you. Come. The book of 1 Maccabees, chapter 5, verse 31. When Judas therefore saw that the battle was begun, and that the cry of the city went up to heaven with trumpets.
With what?
And that the cry of the city went up to heaven with trumpets.
Read that over again.
No problem. When Judas therefore saw that the battle was begun,
so go ahead.
And that the cry of the city went up to heaven with trumpets.
That's right. So we kicked off wars all the time, blowing out shofars. Go ahead.
And a great sound.
Go ahead.
He said unto his host, fight this day for your brethren.
He said what?
Fight this day for your brethren.
So that sound of that trumpet was a sound of war. Most of the time. When they heard Israel blow them trumpets, it was on. Go ahead.
So he went forth behind them in 3 companies who sounded their trumpets and cried with praise.
That's right. That's three companies of war. 3 army, 3 groups of what they call them, like you had like recon, and you got 3 companies. Go ahead.
Come. All right.
33.
33 again?
Yeah. Good. No, that was it?
Yeah.
Give me Sirach 50 and 16. It wasn't 50 and 6. My bad.
Come. The book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 50, verse 16. Then shouted the sons of Aaron, and sounded the silver trumpets, and made a great noise to be heard, for a remembrance before the Most High. Then all the people together hasted, and fell down to the earth upon their faces to worship Yahweh Almighty, the Most High.
That's right. Read that. Can you read that back over again for me, bro?
I'm sorry, 16 again?
Go ahead, yeah.
Then shouted the sons of Aaron, and sounded the silver trumpet.
That's right. And a lot of times when you can see, you can find a lot of these embossed with silver and gold, right? And they used to make, actually they used to emboss these joints with silver and gold, and then also make musical instruments out of pure gold and silver, right? Go ahead.
All right. And made a great noise to be heard, for remembrance before the Most High.
That's right. So like I said, we used to blow the trumpet, we used to blow the shofars just to praise the Most High, right? Go ahead.
Then all the people together hasted, and fell down to the earth upon their faces to worship Yahweh Almighty, the Most High.
Go ahead.
The singers also sang praises with their voices, with great variety of sounds, was their main sweet melody. And the people besought Yahweh, the Most High, by prayer before him that is merciful, till the solemnity of Yahweh was ended, and that they had finished his service.
All right, that's it. Go ahead.
The book of 2 Chronicles 7 and 6. My brother. Yeah, so the trumpet could be for a time of war, it could be for gathering, convocation, it could be for celebrations, it could be for election of kings. So we're just going to get a couple of precepts.
Read that for y'all?
Right.
The book of 2 Chronicles, chapter 7, verse 6. And the priests waited on their offices, the Levites also with instruments of music of Yahweh, which David the king had made to praise Yahweh, because his mercy endured forever. When David praised by the ministry, and the priests sounded trumpets before them, and all Yasharal stood. Keep going.
Get 2 Chronicles 29:26. Through 27.
The book of 2 Chronicles, chapter 29, verse 26. And the Levites stood with the instruments of David, and the priests with the trumpets. And Hezekiah commanded to offer the burnt offering upon the altar. And when the burnt offering began, the song of Yahweh began also with the trumpets, and with the instruments ordained by David, king of Yasharal.
That's right.
And all the congregation worshiped, and the singers sang, and the trumpeters sounded, and all this continued until the burnt offering was finished.
Man, so they got it on, man.
Come.
You know, that was Hezekiah's temple being reformed. So, you know, man, said the trumpeters, that's plural. You had more than one person out there blowing a trumpet.
Come.
That's all I had.
Alright, give me Ezra 3 and 9.
First Ezra?
Yes, sir. No, Ezra.
Oh, Ezra. Book of Ezra, chapter 3, verse 9. Then stood Jeshua with his sons and his brethren, Kadmiel and his sons, the sons of Judah, Yahweh, together to set forth the workmen in the house of Yahweh.
That's right.
The sons of Henadad, with their sons and their brethren, the Levites. And when the builders laid the foundation of the temple of Yahweh, they set the priests in their apparel with trumpets.
They set the priests in their garments and what?
They set the priests in their apparel with trumpets.
Go ahead.
And the Levites, the sons of Asaph, with cymbals.
Right, and the sons of Asaph was the musicians of King David. Go ahead.
To praise Yahweh, after the ordinance of David, king of Yasharal.
That's right. Go ahead.
And they sang together by course in praising and giving thanks unto Yahweh, because he is good.
That's right.
For his mercy endured forever toward Yasharal.
That's right. Go ahead.
And all the people shouted with a great shout when they praised Yahweh, because the foundation of the house of Yahweh was laid.
Go ahead. That's it.
Job 39:25. Start at 24. 39, 24 through 25.
The book of Job, chapter 39, verse 24. He swalloweth the ground with fierceness and rage. Neither believeth he that is the sound of the trumpet. He saith among the trumpets, Ha ha! And he smelleth the battle afar off, the thunder of the captains and the shouting.
That's that wartime, that battle cry. Let's see what we had. You got anything else you want to bring out now? I just wanted to touch up on rehearsing the righteous act. All right. As much as we can, we try to keep these feast days, these holy convocations to the best of our ability. So I'm going to pull a scripture that a lot of Christians will use to say, you know, don't judge me because I don't keep these feast days, or we ain't got to keep them. You know, clearly when we read Leviticus, it said that these convocations will be considered a Sabbath. And that was a commandment throughout your generations forever.
That's right. So
we're going to slice and dice that concept. Somebody give me Colossians 2:16. Just try to cover all areas. These Christian doctrines, man, they are destroying people. It's like a drug. It's like I said, it's worse than crack, man. You know, it's a huge stumbling block. You can't get off of the fact that, one, the Most High didn't do away with the law, statutes, and commandments. Two, the Most High don't love everybody. All right? All right, read that.
The book of Colossians chapter 2 verse 16. Let no man therefore judge you in meat, or in drink, or in respect of an holy day, or of the new moon, or of the Sabbath days, which are a shadow of things to come.
Which are a shadow of what?
Things to come. But the body is of Hamashiach.
That's right. The body is of Hamashiach. So Paul was going in on the church. You had religious Judites debating with Paul and apostles about keeping meat or drink offerings according to the law of Moses. Paul was saying a lot of the sacrificial law was done away with, but doesn't mean you can't rehearse the righteous act. It don't mean that you can't rehearse the righteous act.
Right.
They were disputing, you know, pretty much whether they were going to do it perfect according to the letter of the law, or just rehearsing the righteous act. So the Most High still acknowledges your righteous act when you're doing it and rehearsing it.
Right.
You know, when Yahweh Shai come back and the kingdom is established under the Most High's rulership, then we will all get it perfect. Right now, we're all rehearsing the righteous act. So don't let a Christian or somebody pull Colossians 2:16, say, see, don't judge me on meat or you know, a holy day and a new moon, where right here this scripture say we ain't gotta do it. No, that's not what it's saying. You know, it's a shadow of things to come. And mostly some brothers might